The study released by the Canadian consultants show that commodities used in local mining activities are sourced from outside the country. This leads to the export of the country's financial resources. The study attributes the status quo to the absence of regulations in Namibia to compel local mining companies to buy their goods and services locally.
When we do see figures around local procurement, so if a company says we procure 70%, so 70% of our procurement spend is local, we're seeing less money spent in Namibia than in South Africa. So, companies are saying that they're spending a little bit less than in South Africa.
They have better ideas on what Namibia should do to address the disparities in goods availability and the country's needs.
We're advising that if Namibia is going to have regulations which force companies to buy locally, they have to be buttressed by support for those suppliers. And they may need to make sure that those regulations actually are realistic, that they target the right goods and services, that they're not sort of across the board arbitrary targets that don't make any sense, because that doesn't really lead to a lot of genuine value addition in country.
According to the statistics by the Chambers of Mines of Namibia, more than 40% of mining goods and services are procured locally, contrary to the Canadian report.
If you look at the Minerals Act, our main mining legislation, it's actually one of the conditions for having a mining license. It clearly spells that the investor or the project or promoter, you must procure local goods and services as much as possible. It says as much as possible. And then you should also employ Namibians as much as possible.
In 2015, $25 billion were generated by the sector, and 44% of this money was invested in Namibia through procurement of goods. The remainder went for wages, dividends to government, profits, taxes, and royalties, exploration expenditures, as well as operating expenses.